Now what happens when you're writing the offer and you say to the buyer, now you'll remember when we started off, this was the minimum amount. This particular listing only offers $500. So what? You're on the hook for the rest. That's the bottom line, right? So you will be obligated to pay the balance, right? Would you like to include that? Or they may say to you, can I not include that in my negotiations on this property? You say, yes, absolutely. And the way is to have a separate authority from the contract purchase and sale to allow you to do it. Having covered that, now you put it into the contract on their behalf. It's their clause. And so your offer will read simply that, you know, all the usual stuff, and at the bottom it will be, you know, term of this agreement is that the seller will, you know, fix the fence, will clean the carpets, you know, honor before possession date, and then you say something like the seller will, as a term of this agreement, pay X amount of dollars to Homelife Realty out of proceeds of sale upon completion. It's another term of the offer. That's all it is. That way it's up front, absolutely. Everybody knows what's going on. There's nothing unusual about it in any way, shape, or form. The negotiation is happening between the buyer and seller, not with you in the middle. You don't have to approve anything. It's not third party. It's two party. So you're fine. Anything else? Don't worry. No bad questions. Jump at it.
Everybody's clear.
Once you get going on it, it's actually quite simple. And it's the proper way to do it. You don't do it by amending the listing contract with a listing amendment form. You don't have the listing in this case. It's somebody else. So you can't be amending their listing agreement. You know, you don't write in there, you know, that without this, you don't write in there something like, you know, they agree the commission will be X, Y, and Z, or that, you know, you'll pay, you know, so-and-so this amount of commission without this authority. Because what you've now done is you've brought in your participation in this contract, and that makes it a third-party agreement. That's when it's a problem, because then it's non-enforceable.
And it makes it really awkward.
Yeah. See, this is a whole lot simpler.
Yeah.
You start off right at the beginning, discussing this with your buyer. This is the minimum amount. I'm not trying to rip you off. I'm not trying to be unreasonable here or anything like that. And that almost always in my conversations with my clients, my buyers, they always understood, look, you've got to make a living. I appreciate that. The real benefit of doing this is that I am totally freed up from any concern over what kind of compensation I'm getting. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm only interested in getting the right property for you. So it's a very positive thing to do. Okay, that's it?
Well, not you.
Great. I just wanted to remind you, and then I'll throw it open for any other items. This is Realtor Link, pardon me. Realtor Link, so when you sign on, you're a Fraser Valley member, automatically you're on the Fraser Valley page, right? You click on the Ethics tab, okay, right up top there, front center. That takes you to what I call my web page, or it takes you to the Ethics web page. And in here, we've got all kinds of resources for you. The Code of Ethics, you know, the rules and regs, all the stuff that you need is in there. And if there's anything missing, let me know. One of the things we added recently, which I'd just like to let you know, and I'm going to be sending out some written material on this, and it's quite neat, is the Vancouver board, through my counterpart in Vancouver, they took a couple of typical ads, and they used one that was perfectly right, and they used one that was perfectly wrong, and they show you each and every item, and when you click on it, it takes you to the actual rule that applies. It's a fantastic little thing, and it's now available. It's called Advertising, you know, the right things to do or the wrong things to do, something like that. You'll see it in there now. We just put it in about a week ago. So that's a really neat little tool, so encourage you to look at that. Okay, so just a couple more quick subjects here, and then we'll throw it open if you got anything else, and then I'll be up your hair. I've got to look in here because Natalie gave me her list, and I've forgotten it already.
Schedule A.
Oh, you put that one in, and I didn't add it. Oh, yeah.
No.
Two-tiered commissions. You brought up the two-tiered commission issue. a lot of people phone me and say, you know, I see this thing in here, you know, X amount or Plan A, whatever that is, upon first physical introduction.
Yeah.
And Plan B, if it's not. A lot of people want to know if that's okay. That's what I call the two-tier commission. In other words, there's two levels to the Cooperating Brokers Commission. One is if you do the first physical introduction, then that's where the program you are. If you do not, and the other realtor, the listing realtor, shows them the property or whatever, and all of a sudden you come into the picture, then it becomes Plan B. So that has been tested and asked for legal opinions and all kinds of things on it, and the current answer is we have to accept those kinds of listings. There is a lot of debate going on over that subject still even now after, you know, more than a couple of years that we've been doing this. But, so it could change in the future, I don't know, but at this point it's that way. We have to accept those listings. The key is it must be spelled out in the Cooperating Brokerage Commission line in your listing agreement. So in other words, you have your typical listing agreement, you have your gross commission, you know, whatever that is, right? And then you have, a little bit further down, you have the cooperating agent brokers fee, the portion you're going to pay them. So it has to be spelled out exactly that way. That it will be, you know, Plan A, you know, whatever the amount is or the percentage is, upon first physical introduction, or otherwise it's Plan B, whatever that is, $500 or whatever that number is. Okay? And as long as it's spelled out and it's right in the listing contract and the seller has approved it by signing that contract and agreeing to that arrangement, then we must accept those kinds of listings. Okay? And that's what we're doing. So you will see them out there. Another reason why you need to do what I just talked about a moment ago.
So if you had this sign, though, would that override that?
It doesn't override anything. It's just you are now entitled to, let's say, 500, Plan B.
Right.
And you have a buyer's agency contract that says you're going to get $5,000.
Right.
They now have to make up $4,500.
Okay.
So if you've done this, then you just simply have them negotiate it with the seller. It's a cost of doing business to them,
So another
not to
reason to
you.
have that filled out.
Buyer agency.
It's another reason to cover it.